So Peanut Butter Dickhead and his guys are reacting to Alex Jones, and there's part of this. They show part of it, and they show a later piece of it. Yes, Egg 22 is a good egg, totally. But this one's long, so I'll skip around in it. But I want you to see the fucking wig out from these dum-dums.
Dan Bongino drops truth bomb. Vinny, it's a truth bomb. In FBI's assassination investigation, he's sitting with Kash Patel. They're asking about Epstein. Have we reacted to this yet?
I don't know.
Rob, we did do the Epstein.
We did.
This is a separate. Epstein. It's from the same interview, and it happened on the same day, but it got overshadowed by the.
Jesus Christ! How does this guy walk into a post office since he looks like every letter bomber on the FBI's 10 most wanted list?
Clip. This is where they talk about the.
Jesus, where does he shop? At Pat Gray's outlet? Pat Gray's basement?
13th shooting, attempted assassination of Donald Trump by Thomas Crooks. And this is where Dan Bongino says, if there was anything there that was bigger than just one guy doing it, I would tell you.
Play this clip.
You know what, Maria? Kash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single detail, nugget, tendril of this case.
Okay, first of all, what a weirdo. Secondly, let's start with not kidding. Nobody thinks he's kidding. That's not the point. They don't think he's just joshing about this. I guess what he's trying to avoid saying is Kash isn't BSing you, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, the fact that this idea that he's not joking, it just points to the fact that Bongholio is an idiot and is trying to, turd polish right here. And each one of them is trying to fill in the gaps for the other in this untenable situation that they know you and I don't believe anything they say anyways. So I'm not going to take it for fucking granted. But it doesn't hurt me that they're not getting to the essence of this because I don't expect them to, because they work for Jeffrey Epstein's best fucking friend. So you and I already know this, but the maggots are like, what the hell's going on? The betrayal.
One is actively in court right now, so out of respect for the case, it's probably more appropriate that I stay quiet on that.
He means the one that's alive.
However, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, and whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a
there. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bongholio.
Oh, hello there.
Service agent. And my personal friendship as a director does with the president. Give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have.
I know. I know why. Because he staged it. Logically, sensibly, if you found out something that this was actually a PR stunt, that what happened in Butler was actually a setup that Trump's own people did, that people around him did. Not the left, not the deep state, not Biden, not the fucking Iranians, but Trump's own people set this up. Logically, that would be a fan-fucking-tastic reason for you and this asshole to, once you get that job, change your tune. That's exactly why. That's the logical reason. It might not, I'm not saying it's right, but that's a logical conclusion. It is absolutely a logical conclusion. Here's why. You said, oh my God, somebody tried to kill the president. This is terrible. It can't just be this guy. It's got to be a group of people behind him that were helping him do this, and he was coordinating this with other people. And then you get in and you find out he was. But he was coordinating with Trump's people, and that they were the ones that set him up, and they were the ones that took him out. And Trump knew it. And there was they had a fucking shot of the ketchup packet that he had in his goddamn pocket. And they know for a fact that it was a piece of glass from the teleprompter that hit him. So he doesn't want you to talk about that. That logically would be a fantastic reason why both of you assholes would get in there, see the case, and clam the fuck up. I am not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying that's really fucking easy to conclude. In the absence of evidence that I have access to, That would be the logical conclusion for how supposedly the deep state came for him and was unsuccessful.
If you can think of one, there isn't. There in some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there. And
Yeah, you stupid tinfoil hat motherfucker. That's what he's saying.
oh, people, I get it. I understand.
Nah, you don't. Because you were bullshitting these people and selling them a bill of goods, and then when you got in there, you look like you've been taken by the deep state. And you know what? I love it. It couldn't happen to a nicer bungholio who is looking for DP for his bunghole. Are you threatening me? Yeah, bungholio, you enjoy every second of MAGA calling you a fucking liar. Teepee.
Not there. If it was there, we would have told you.
Okay, Vinny.
Okay,
Thoughts? And by the way, I got a clip.
This is the dude who flips the fuck out. This is the guy who's like, from a logical, I wear a suit jacket, so I can talk about this in a sort of a disassociated sociopath kind of a way. And then this dude over here on the other side of Peanut Butter Dickhead is there for mop up. He's like, no, I love these guys. They're my bros. So whatever they say goes.
By Alex Jones, I want to show afterwards his reaction, and another clip of before and after, but I want to go to you
And Rob,
first.
that was in reference to which assassination attempt?
Thomas Crooks. July 13th, Thomas Crooks, Butler, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I don't know about you guys. I saw a couple of videos, body language professionals.
Yeah, I saw a couple videos. Body language professionals are telling me these guys are full of shit, which they are, but they always have been. So you don't get to pat yourself on the back for finally realizing that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are full of shit.
What he said about the Epstein thing, and by the way, there are clips of Dan Bongino going in on everything and and then now it just seems very calm.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? What do you think? What's up with that? Does anybody? I don't know what that could be. What could be? Could there be any? What could be, logically, simply, what would be the reason for that? I mean, if Trump staged the whole thing himself and it was all a big fucking production and he was never actually in harm's way, and they'd even gone so far as to swap out the ammo in the guy's weapon. He had no idea because he was a dipshit, and they just killed him, and never near the twain shall meet, and they confiscated the evidence. So what are you going to know about that stuff? And then he would be the one to look into it. So
Seems like he doesn't want to be saying the words that are coming out. Is this it, Rob? Can we play this, Rob?
Yep.
Is it okay, Pat?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh yeah, this is what's floating around on fucking Twitter, by the way. They're all of WTF Twitter is just grinding on this shit right now, and it is fucking glorious.
That Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein?
There's one other guy you keep forgetting to mention. There's a guy, and I forget what his name is. His name sounds like dumb old dumpster. I'll remember it later.
Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a...
Entrepreneurial? You mean they see the cha-ching and talking about Jeffrey Epstein? They're like, dude, there's a lot of money to be made in this. We could build a small, real estate firm based on this. Maybe we do a tour of all the Epstein properties. I'm just saying.
Deal.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen that.
Okay, and listen.
He killed himself.
I'm Pat.
That was them laughing, by the way. I'd like to remind you. Think about who these fuckers are.
Hung out with. I respect Dan Bongino immeasurably, but
I think we can measure it now. I think if it's shortened at all, and it seems to, I think we could say that it's well within the measurable arena. You know, we could set up some sort of a scale. I would like you to point on the graph where the Bongholio touched you.
When it comes, let's put the Epstein stuff to the side. You mean to tell me Thomas Crooks, that case, just some white dude figured, by the way, flew a drone.
But why white? What does that mean? Look, dude, if anybody could get a gun close to Trump, it'd be a white dude. You're not gonna have a brown person that's armed get anywhere near Trump. But a white dude walking around with an AR-15, you're like, what's up, bro? Like, all he has to do is wear a fucking American flag bandana and carry a Trump flag, and he hang the flag from the tip of the gun. He could walk in using it as a prop, and they're like, he's not gonna do anything.
Nobody said nothing. He was walking around. There's footage of him pointing and doing this. Police officers everywhere. He gets on the roof. People see him. There's Secret Service people in the building, okay? He does all that. He has 6 cell phones on him. They get off. He's allegedly put off a...
I don't think he had 6 cell phones on him. I think the idea was that he had 6 cell phones in total, and there were a couple of extra ones in his car, and he had multiple burners because he had planned other shit. So, I mean... how much is a fucking burner phone, or a used fucking Android?
The parents are basically protected, and you...
What? Basically? They didn't buy him the shit. He's a grown man.
Want me to believe that just this random white kid set up in the perfect position, and they all lied about the slanted roof, and out of all that, let's say even, God forbid, Trump was...
out of all that, all right,
and shot, and he died there, what would have...
Yeah, I want you to believe that. Yeah, sorry. I want you to believe that. I mean, I don't think you will, but I want you to believe that. You know why I want you to believe that? Because then you might come to the conclusion that you've been full of shit this entire goddamn time. And not only have people been selling you a line of bullshit, you have been passing on secondhand bullshit over every fucking topic that you guys cover. Okay. All right.
Kim Cheadle would have stepped down and got fired and case closed. Okay, I do not believe you. I understand they're in a different position, Tom, and there's certain things you can't say, but if you think us, the American people, are going to believe that this lone gunman BS story is true...
It just, they get so close. They get so close to realizing. They're almost there. But they're never going to hit it. It's amazing. It's like watching somebody go for, like, you can't roll a gutter ball every fucking time. You can't never hit a pin, right? And then and it goes towards and you're like, oh shit, that looks like it's actually going towards the 1-3 or the 1-2 where you can hit it. This might be a strike. Oh shit. And then it just fucking, for some reason, just gets anywhere near the first pin, just careens off into the fucking pin, into the bin on the side. Might got scratch again. I don't know. Market 0.
You have another thing coming. All right. Period. And the Epstein thing, Pat.
You got another thing coming. Oh yeah!
Give a damn. Okay, killed himself, whatever. I don't believe the noise. Who gives a shit? What about the 10,000s of hours of young girls, of children getting raped and whatever? Those people are still walking around. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have the footage.
Okay, so this is, and I want you to pay attention to this. This is the essence of what is driving this fucking guy crazy. And let me tell you something about Vinny. I don't like this guy. I think he's full of shit. I think he's been selling anti-Democrat, anti-Biden shit for so long, he doesn't even know what side of the fucking bread the butter goes on. But he does have the right fixation for this story. And it is why he and a bunch of people like him are never going to let go of it. And that is the idea that these guys who engaged in this shit with Epstein are still walking around and nobody stops being a pedophile. So, they're out there. So as long as we're not prosecuting people, they're still victimizing people. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Not that they're out there. It's a good thing to focus on. It's a good thing I agree. You don't. It's the exact same reason why you never want to throw an innocent person in jail or railroad somebody in a case just to get a conviction. Because if you try someone and find them guilty for a crime they didn't commit, not only is that bad for them, but the person who did it is still out there stabbing. Understand? So there's a reason why you want the judicial system to work properly. Secondly, if this bothers you, it's never going to go away. There's no quick remedy for the fact that there are fucking pedophiles who worked with Jeffrey Epstein who are out and about, and we don't know their names, and they're arguably still victimizing people, right? I would also like to remind you that these assholes all shit on the Me Too movement entirely. So, again, at least he's defensive of children. He's never going to get to adult women don't have it coming or some nonsense, whatever that is. Like, don't believe these bitches, wherever his brain is on that, God knows. But at least he's on the kid thing. And because he's locked in on that, you can't move him. And you shouldn't. Right? Yeah. He's never going to put together that Alan Dershowitz and Donald Trump were the closest people. Fucking Noam fucking Chomsky. What the fuck? You know what Noam Chomsky's... You guys remember this, chat room? Real quick. You guys remember what Noam Chomsky said when they asked him about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Zuckerberg said he only met him once, and he didn't like it, and he never wanted to see the guy again, and he was introduced by Elon Musk, right? Who else? Bill Gates says he regrets hanging out with him and all this kind of stuff. You know what Noam Chomsky said? None of your fucking business. He said, none of your business. They asked him about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He said, none of your business. This is a linguistics professor. This is a guy whose entire life is about language. And his response, Jesus Christ, like his response to why did you do business with Jeffrey Epstein? By the way, after he was arrested. Why did you do this? He goes, well, I had some financial transactions about transferring some money, and I contacted him, and we had dinner a few times, and none of your business. Wow. Yeah, again, Google it. Like, it's the weirdest fucking response of almost anybody they've talked to about this, was Noam Chomsky saying, mind your own business. Or none of your business, I think it was. Hold on. Well, look at it real quick. Hold on. Chomsky, Epstein, none. Whoops, I can type. It came out when whoops, there you go. Yeah. Of all fucking people, man. Renowned academic Noam Chomsky told the Wall Street Journal that his meetings with Jeffrey Epstein are none of your business. Do these guys know that Bondi was out of Florida? No. Whew. It's everybody's business. Yeah, but Al Franken had to resign over, by the way, a post picture that he did not touch the woman in it, making a joke about it because she was gropey on the trip and she grabbed the country artist or whoever it was that was performing by the ass when she walked up on stage. She full cheeked him, and Al Franken makes a joke about that on the plane ride back when she's passed out, and suddenly he gets bounced. Video comes out later of her grabbing this dude's ass, like practically shoving her middle finger up his butthole, and nothing happens to her. But, you know, double standards being a thing. Don't get distracted. Chomsky said, none of your business. What the fuck? All right. So this guy is fixated, as dumb as he is, on the right thing. And morally, Vinny, I applaud you. Yes, it is wrong that these children were victimized and that the men that victimized them are still out and about. And as a Democrat, if anybody I previously liked is caught up in this shit, fuck them. I don't fucking care. Send them to jail. Not hard at all. Okay? I'm not going to, because my beliefs and my ethics aren't based on who I believe carried them out, but my ethics themselves. So if somebody pretends to be on my side and then they turn out to be a complete skis, I don't care. right? So he's, but when it comes to children, that's a hard line. That's easy. And he's sticking to it. The rest of the guys are trying to fucking tap dance around it.
They're still in society and they're still walking around. So how many more hours are you going to watch while these people walk free?
Okay, so that's his thing about Pam Bondi. Like, we have to review all the footage because of the victims and blah, blah, blah. And again, like, we have to sift through this stuff, right? So, like, how much sifting do you have to go through? Are they having a hard time finding a video that Trump isn't in? Is that what the sifting is about?
I don't understand. Make a fucking arrest. Give us one person. One.
All they want is one person. Well, they can't because I guess he can't be tried in state court while he's president of the United States. Oops.
I don't care if it's Bill Gates. I don't care if it's Bill. I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, it's Bill. I don't care if it's Bill Gates or Bill Clinton. I don't give a shit. You do give a shit if it's Bill Barr, whose dad gave Epstein his first fucking job at a co-ed or an all-girls school teaching physics, which he did not have a degree in. Or Donald Trump, who has, never lived more than a 9-minute cab ride from fucking Jeffrey Epstein's house. Yeah, this dude, right, he's beat red. Like, this is how you know this is sincere. I don't know why. I do know why. But there is this weird wall where they just can't say Trump's fucking name.
Give us somebody.
Tom.
Yeah, I agree. Give us Donald John Trump. Epstein's best friend for 25 fucking years. The only friend we've known Trump to ever have besides Roy Cohn. He's only had 2 good friends that we know of that he spent any type of time with, partying and hanging out like a real social animal. And in both cases, they fucked kids. Both of those guys.
I agree. I don't need to speculate. You know why? Because Pam Bondi walked up to a microphone and said there are 10,000 or what?
Tens of thousands
of videos and clips, and we have to be careful about the identities. So I'm not out there with a tin hat, crazy train.
Tin foil hat. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. I listened to Pam Bondi, and I respect Pam Bondi, but I want her to finish up and put some dates and timelines on what she came out and she told us.
Yep.
Where is this? And I also want to see if there are people there that are... See, I'm not as worried about a congressman.
I think so. I think I could bring Vinny over to this side. They'll never let me on this fucking show. Are you kidding me?
Went to Epstein Island and had sex with a girl who was 17.
Look, let me explain something to you. If you're a Democrat who looks like they do push-ups at all, they're not going to invite you on these shows. They will bring you on if you look like a soy boy. That's the rule. You have to look like physically diminutive or weak to them. That doesn't mean you are. This is their stereotype, not mine. But this is why. None of them are going to bring on somebody who looks like me on these shows. For real. Just understand that.
Not 19. I worry less about that. I want to know where are the people that were part of the feeder network that are running networks of this, because they were in business and they're probably still in business trafficking kids.
Oh, wait. Yeah. So hold on. Because is this the part
that went to Epstein?
Yeah. Oh. I don't care about a congressman who thought a girl was 19 and she was 17. Matt Gaetz. Let's just start with this. This is them covering for Matt Gaetz. This is them cleaning up after Matt Gaetz. I don't give a shit if Matt Gaetz sex trafficked a 17-year-old. I only care about 12-year-olds. If a girl is raped and she's 16 or 17, if she looks older, and there are thousands of them, because that was Epstein's taste, by the way, all these high school girls from these poor trailer park areas. And again, this fucking bullshit story. Trump and Epstein only had one breakup, and it was about a piece of property. It was never about some girl that worked at Mar-a-Lago that Epstein hit on, that was a daughter of a member or any of that shit. That story's everywhere, and it's a lie. But even if I gave it to you, even if I said that's a real story, that's how it really happened, all it tells me is that Donald Trump didn't give a shit about underage girls being, pimped by Ghislaine Maxwell and servicing fucking Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't care about that. He cared about members' daughters. If you did it like, like to girls at these fucking local West Palm Beach high schools, he didn't give a shit. It didn't matter. He knew about it for years. And he didn't care. He only cared when it was a rich, member of the club's daughter. If you even believe that story, it's morally reprehensible. Again, that's what I've said. If you don't have Trump derangement syndrome, there's something wrong with you.
See, I'm not as worried about a congressman that went to Epstein Island and had sex with a girl who was 17, not 19.
That's them whitewashing Matt Gaetz, who they are all also friends with.
I worry less about that. I want to know, where are the people that were part of the feeder network that are running networks of this, because they were in business and they're probably still in business trafficking kids to God knows where.
Yeah.
Talk to Eric. Talk to Don Jr. Ask them.
Those are the people that I want stopped, because this was a criminal enterprise. There was a constant flow.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready again to put on my tin hat and get all freaked
Tinfoil hat. I don't know why that bothers me, but it's really odd.
Out on one thing or the other, or whether a senator did this with somebody or Prince Andrew. They called him Randy Andy. He already had a reputation. There's nothing more to the story of Andrew.
Jesus Christ. You know why they're talking about Andrew right now is because the only other person to bring up at that level is Trump. I'm an American. I don't give a fuck what royals do. If they try it here, and they should go to jail if they do something like that. But we fought a Revolutionary War, so I don't have to give a shit about royals.
Said this guy was an entitled royal who was just basically humping his way around the world.
Right. Now do Trump.
I'm not worried about that. I want to know, where are these children now? And I want to know, where are the people that were trafficking them in? Because that's where it is.
They're in office.
Yep, and exactly. And unlike Tom, I used to drink. I haven't drank. May 31st is going to be my 2-year mark, right?
Good for you, Vinny. September 25th of this year will be my 55th year of no alcohol and drugs. Yeah. I'm doing pretty good. Longest sober run that's not a Mormon. I'm very proud of myself.
I have urges, but not like that. These pedophiles that are on this camera, they don't stop being pedophiles. You don't recover from being, you're not a recovering pedophilia guy. You know what I mean?
A recovering pedophilia guy. I think that would be a pedophile. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, that's horseshit. Those people are still walking
Here's
around.
Alex Jones.
And
Here's
they know
Alex
who they
Jones.
are. They know
Watch
where they
this.
are.
Watch it.
Look at this. Look how beat red he is. That's not going away, kids. That's the important part. Whether he wakes up to the fact that that Epstein and Trump were fucking best friends is immaterial. He can't let it go. And eventually that realization has to land. At some point, he fights it off. You see him do it on the show all the fucking time.
Tell us, oh, we've closed it. He acted alone. We have the files. If you're going to crap on me or piss on me, don't rub it in and don't tell me it's raining, okay? Please. Can you not, just as a PR issue, will you stop it, Kash and Bongino?
No, they can't. They can't, because they have to settle all these things, because the only other conclusion, if you keep digging, is Trump, and they've got to stop digging. They've got to. This is all about not digging any further, because the more you dig, the more you realize Trump is behind all of it, and you guys will collapse if you realize this. All right, so.
I know, obviously, Dan, nobody's smarter than you.
Ouch. You've obviously never seen him read.
But if you want to go from being very popular to very unpopular, and thus hurt Trump as well, just keep going. Keep going, tough guy.
You got to enjoy it. You have to enjoy where, like, again, you have to understand This is not the conversation these assholes thought they would be having in May of 2025, on November 5th.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm getting angry.
Alex Jones.
And it's very insulting to the American people to say Epstein killed himself. No one buys it.
I don't feel insulted. I don't care either way. I just hope he's actually dead, but and it would have been better if we had a trial so people could have seen more of it. That's certainly the concern or whatever. But I think the bad part was electing a guy who was best friends with him for 25 years and a woman who was AG in Florida, the state that gave him a sweetheart deal, after Alex Acosta gave him a deal.
It's very insulting to say that brainwashed classic mind control operative acted alone. Please stop.
Okay, now they're talking about the now he's talking about Crooks.
The one that trained, where the federal law enforcement trained, all that. His cell phone all around the federal building in D.C., the FBI headquarters. Huh? Stop it.
No, I don't think they will. Yeah, I don't think they will.
If you're not going to do anything about it, just shut up about it then.
Oh, this is good. This is their own dude. This is, you gotta understand, none of us actually thought Trump was going to get to the bottom of fucking anything except the pile, the well of morality. Maybe he'll get to the bottom of that, but never about these actual issues. So none of us are fucking, waking up early, going to bed, late at night, waiting for, all the truth to be unveiled, right?
But that's only going to encourage the group inside the government, the faction, to try to kill the big guy again. I'm not trying to create some controversy. Alex Jones turns on Trump, turns on Bongino. It's not that. Please don't insult us anymore. Please.
No, I think we got to. I think you're stupid, your forehead's shiny, and you're a terrible burden on your poor mother.
Please. God, I mean, it's like getting up at a dinner party and taking a dump on a plate and telling everybody it's chocolate ice cream. I mean,
You can pause it right, too. That's when
Okay,
it
we can. Well,
That's what it ends.
I mean,
Adam,
isn't
your
he
thoughts?
right?
well, look.
Now, okay, so this is the guy who walks behind Trump in the parade with the pooper scooper.
You might not like what I have to say, Vinny, Tom. It's amazing to see people that were avid supporters of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino just a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, completely turn on them because, as he said, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. And whether you like it or not, it's up to you. I know people. I get it. I understand.
Oh, by the way, you do realize, the people who liked them before and are mad at them now are reacting to what they said before and what they're saying now. So, again, in the world of cause and effect, you're getting mad at the effect because you don't want to address the cause. On a, if we're going to talk logic.
It's not there. If I was there, we would have told you. So I'm going to take these people at their word, unless you think they're a liar. Because I had a conversation
I think they're liars, but for a bunch of other reasons, not this. I don't really care.
with somebody that's very in the know, and he goes, sometimes don't rule out sheer incompetence. Don't rule out people just messing up. Sometimes it's not a cover-up, it's just a complete screw-up.
Can I ask you?
So there is, hold on.
Okay.
Because
Okay, so he's talking about at Butler. And I would argue that is the majority of the reason why that guy ended up on the roof was because they pulled people out of that little tower where they were overlooking the roof that would have seen him to look for a guy who was walking around the ground.
you just want to talk and not listen.
Oh, no, I'm listening a lot.
These guys are friends.
Sometimes
Wait. Who just said that?
Adam's
sometimes incompetence
All right, checking
is
my notes.
the world's most underrated mastermind. If you would,
So you're
If
saying you
it-
believe them?
I would say
That Epstein
I'm
killed
talking
himself.
specifically about Trump and the Butler situation.
Okay, the Butler.
Is that not what we're talking about?
Yeah,
go Butler
okay.
and then go Epstein.
I will do that.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I know a lot of people want to say, oh, it was the FBI, it was the CIA, they did this. That's the director of the FBI. I think he would know.
Now
I think he would know, okay? He's the director of the FBI. He's seen the files. Now, I'm not going to apologize to the last director of the FBI who said the exact same fucking thing, because that would mean I would have to admit that I was being an asshole, and that's not what Alex is willing to do. He can never do that because he's pulling the same Roy Cohn bullshit that Trump does, so he can never admit that he was wrong. So it's got to be somebody else who's engaged in a giant conspiracy, even if it was somebody you liked before.
So I think you would know.
Okay.
So I just find it hilarious that the person that everyone was so in favor of, once they tell you what they know and the truth, and it's not what you want to hear, now you have an issue with them on this particular situation.
Sad.
Who has, and I love you, who do I think has more credibility? Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, or Vinny?
Okay.
I love you.
I know where you're
I'm going to go with them.
Okay, but you're
I know
missing-
you're going to say.
No, what am I going to say?
You're going to say, well, I don't believe them.
No,
I don't believe
Adam,
them. I don't
what
believe
I'm
them.
saying is, Adam, you could talk.
This is going great. I just want to say, I think we can all agree that bridges are being built, understanding is deepening, the foundation of agreement is being laid, and I'm sorry, I'm done. It's just stupid.
Believe them.
You could talk the talk.
I'm not
Adam.
talking anything.
Not you.
I'm believing them.
Not you. I'm saying they can make all the promises. Then Adam, then once they come in and the tune changes, yeah, we're gonna talk shit because
So you're saying they're compromised?
I don't.
Ouch. Oh, yes, that's what he's saying. Yes, they're compromised. There's no real other reason for it. Now, don't get me wrong. Peanut Butter Dickhead has a great theory, and it absolutely sucks.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
By the way, hit the like, share the show, patreon.com/HouseSparks. Also, Twitch. Let's get a hype train going. Hype train. I'll remind everybody. And we need 10 more subscribers because you like deep dives. You've come to the deep state.
But you know what I do know, Adam?
What do you know?
From a ex-military sniper shooting point of view, militant, Secret Service, sloped roof bullshit, none of it makes sense.
Asshole.
None of it makes sense. And I understand they have the behind the scenes and all the facts and everything. You can't tell me that Thomas Crooks, with his 6 cell phones and his parents being protected and his apartment being wiped out clean, okay?
Also, they're going to take everything in his apartment for examination too. Like, I don't, did you guys fucking go knock there? I'm fairly certain that if you're killed by the Secret Service, you lose your lease. I don't know how stuff works, but his apartment was cleaned out largely because they took everything into evidence. Like, I would be surprised if they didn't take the fucking carpet, everything. He took a pot shot at one of the major candidates, right? That would be why you would just scoop it. Like, do you guys ever see? Hold on. Did you guys ever see what they did with the Unabomber's cabin? Hold on. Let's see. Images. Yeah. There you go. Whoops. God damn it. Where's the image of it? There it is. This guy filmed it for exhibits. Yeah. So here you go. This is what they did. They picked up the whole fucking thing, the entire cabin, and they airlifted it. They flew it. They put it on a truck, and then they took it to a warehouse and broke the whole fucking thing down. But they took pictures of all of it as they did it. So yeah, they're gonna fucking scoop out everything in the fucking apartment. They didn't disappear it. What do you think somebody's gonna do? Turn the goddamn thing into a museum?
And all that information, he acted by himself. Adam, because you know what I believe in? Going back to the spirituality is evil. Evil, the left, that party, the deep state, I'm not saying all Democrats, their goal.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Vinny. Thanks, Vinny. Okay, in all deference, I will say that the only thing evil about you is obviously Satan or a demon has gotten into your chintzy little brain or parked in your burned out cinder of a soul and made it impossible for you to see Donald Trump's name when the Epstein topic has come up. That's got to be evil. The devil is the only explanation. That or you're fucking stupid.
Trump Plain and simple. And it failed the first time. They did the switcheroo with Kamala. Then Ryan Ralph, Mr. Ukraine lover, weird. Ukraine, you think Zelensky and them love Trump? No, they would have loved to have this guy taken out to get the money keep flowing in.
Well, then why wouldn't they send somebody who knew what they were fucking doing? Sorry, these guys can defend themselves against Russia, but they couldn't, like, snipe somebody playing fucking golf near an airport?
Okay, I'm just not naive, Adam. Those two guys look like they've been told to shut the hell up.
So they're
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's got to be rough. Yeah. They do, absolutely. Is the cabin on Airbnb? No, I'm sure some asshole has a recreation of it. Heavy sleeper.
They might be compromised, Adam. When it comes to the Epstein thing, my question to you:
Awkward.
You think in this 4 years we're gonna find out anything about Epstein, or we're gonna get any closer to the truth?
I hope so. But
You might know. What do you think? Do you think we're gonna get anything like from today?
Do you want me to answer the question?
Yeah,
you want
May
to ask and keep
22nd.
talking?
No, May 22nd till Trump is gone. Anything?
I would hope so, but it's also probably doubtful, because in my opinion, they don't want certain names who were on that island.
Who's they, motherfucker? If Trump says make it so, make it so. And if Kash Patel and Bongholio are in charge of it, along with Pam Bondi, what's stopping them? They literally have control of all the levers. Oh, yes, he is so close. He's so fucking close.
To come out. And what's the reason they don't want those names to come out?
The system will collapse.
Assuming is those people probably run the world, or at the very least run the country.
They run the world, or at the very least, they run the country. Let's see. It's got to be, honest to God, it has to be like a cognitive, like, misfire in their brain where they want to think Trump, but all that comes into their head, because they're not allowed to say his name in conjunction with this, is literal quotes from this dumb motherfucker. Donald Trump, I run the country and the world. Sorry, what was that again? Dipshit number 3? Hold on.
Assuming is those people probably run the world, or at the very least run the country.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Vinny, you're going this way. And
you don't
you're
say.
Very clear about what you just said. I don't need to summarize it. And Adam.
Yeah, definitely. Don't summarize Vinny. It'll make him very angry.
Clear on that. What I said is they both looked a little bit stiff and a little bit uncomfortable there, but I'm not an expert. I don't know how to read that, but I looked at it and said, God, these guys look a little stiff and uncomfortable. However, my point was, I just want Pam Bondi to finish the sentence she started when she walked to the microphone without speculation. So I'm probably, that's right.
Yeah, she wasn't in the interview, dude. And there's a reason why not. Oh, thank you, Frida. Did I nail that or what? Come on. Kapow.
Matt, it's like, okay, Pam, then tell us, and then let's go after the criminal enterprise that was trafficking the kids.
Because, can I ask PBD? Mm-hmm. Because basically what we're saying is the following.
Mm-hmm. Basically,
you believe Kash and Dan Bongino or not? So in my opinion,
not.
And I actually believe that.
Not. I'm all right. Hold on. I got it together. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So
not.
Because you're basically saying, no, they're not telling me what I think, so now I don't believe them, and there's nothing you can tell me otherwise. Do you think these guys have high credibility? Do you think they've been compromised since they entered office?
Dan Bongino.
How dare you question them?
Said, please don't stop investigating this. If you're running a couple entrepreneurial organizations, are the only ones that are talking about it. He specifically said that pre-getting in. His words.
Weird.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So his words conflict with today's words. Now, that doesn't mean that can't happen. Many times, you will, like, for example, the whole story with The Rock going to Vince McMahon saying, I need you to pay me $2 million a year. And then he says, wait a minute, do you know how we make money here? He says, no. So why do you want me to pay you $2 million? Because you just said you...
That's a great fucking story. I don't care. There's a part where, hold on, let me see. I'm going to jump ahead to this because it gives this analogy that, like, once fucking The Rock realized how little money they make. Okay, yeah. So here it is.
Being his 80th and 250 America's birthday, then World Cup coming.
Okay, so this.
What if they had?
Okay, so this is his thing.
There's a part of me that thinks Trump's behind all of this because Trump.
Oh. There's part of me that thinks Trump is behind all of this. Yes! You nailed it! Abso-fucking-lutely! Yes! Trump is behind all of this. Jeffrey Epstein's best fucking friend is behind all of it.
Not in the way that you think about it. Mm-hmm. There's a part of me that thinks Trump's behind all of this because Trump.
Yes, because Trump was best friends with him for 25 years and loved Roy Cohn, and the only two people he's ever spent more time with than fucking hookers is two pedophiles. That's got to be it. He's nailing it. Here it comes, PBD. This is why you're the boss. This is why this is your show. This is why you fucking nailed it. Give it up for PBD. They realized it finally. Nope.
Wants to use this as a leverage of negotiating against the enemy.
Jesus Christ. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, what a fucking reach. And you're right. But there is no fucking way that you can divert from the obvious logical thought that Trump is behind all of this shit because he controls all the people that they're bitching about, allegedly. Because God knows what the fuck he's doing because everything they said about Biden is true of Trump, clearly. But yeah, it's total 4D chess. Right, this is the 4D chess idea. Wait for this. Fuck.
So think about it this way.
Okay. All right. Think about it this way. And by the way, remember, Vinny is sitting right over here this way. And Vinny, I'm telling you, is not going to like what he hears for a very logical reason.
If they had proof on what happened with Crooks, should you drop it now? Or do you need to hang on to that for the next 4 years to have control?
So you know what happened with Crooks, meaning the deep state or somebody arranged it, and you know they did it, you know who did it, but you keep it for 4 years for some other fucking reason. Leverage, whatever, okay.
Authority. What happens if you hang on to that?
You're saying he's playing his cards close to the vest.
All I'm
he
saying
knows
is
something and he's doing misdirection.
If I knew Crooks was an asset that was mind control tied to somebody else was working with him, why would I release it now? Why does he need that ammunition right now? He doesn't need it yet. He's going to need it. Trust.
What? Wait a minute. Why wouldn't he need that ammunition right now? Like, why wouldn't you just plow the fucking field? What do you think, this is all part of some fucking dance? He's planning a, 10 million immigrant deportation scheme and all kinds of stuff. What the fuck? I know, it's so stupid.
The war hasn't even started yet.
The war? With who? What do you think? There's a bunch of fucking Iranian mullahs on these tapes? The shit are you talking about?
What they're going to try to do to destroy this guy. The war, next year, I keep saying 2026 is going to be the greatest year in the history of America with, June 15 being his 80th and 250 America's birthday, then World Cup coming here. They're going to do everything in their power to make him and America look bad. He needs...
Sorry. So he's going to hold back that the deep state set up Crooks and MK Ultra controlled this moron to take a pot shot at Trump in a fucking field and he's going to use that as leverage so that they don't fuck with the World Cup?
All of these pieces, all these cards for next year, all of them, my opinion. If I'm the president, I'm not going to leak that information today. I'm hanging on to it to know when we're going to drop the news. And when we do, it's got to be at a time that I'm going to destroy your party. I'm going to make sure the world knows about what you're doing. You best get your act.
Why wouldn't you do that, now? For real. I mean, if you started now, let's say you were going to try people for this, and you said the deep state had some Democrats behind the plot to kill him and all that kind of stuff. You'd have to start the trials and rounding people up now just to beat the fucking midterms. Otherwise, Democrats will have a chance to fill in the midterms about that time. You're like, oh, well, fuck that guy. He was terrible. I had no idea. Let's put in a better Democrat then. What are you talking about?
Together, or else. You don't think he's capable of talking like that behind closed doors? So to me, all I'm thinking about is that.
To who? Behind closed doors means it's his fucking team.
Right now, he's saying, guys, delay.
Yeah, this is so fucking Grover.
Oh, hello there.
Delay, because I'm going to need the stuff the next 3 years.
Okay, no, they said the guy acted alone, period.
Delay all of it. I'm going to need it the next 3 years. Because shit's going to get nasty the next 3 years. It's going to.
But can I respond real quick?
Yeah.
I think the way you think is incredible, and
Yes.
and that's admirable, because a lot of
So such genius. Absolutely. Let him have it. Tell him what a genius he is.
people think that, like, you're already, like, you wrote a book, you know, your next 5 moves, you're thinking 5, 10, 15 moves ahead, and Trump would be doing that in this regard.
He's for sure thinking like that.
So my
He's for sure thinking like that.
only counter argument would be, then why come out and make a statement that he didn't do it? All you would have to say is, it's still under investigation, and
No,
we'll get
because
back
what
to you.
this does is this stops it. It's like, done, go.
But now we're talking about it.
But you know, my
Done,
thing
go.
is, guys,
And you know what you could do later on? You could say, you want to believe what we just got. We got new information that we never had before.
the old
script
season
is easy.
2.
Ah, yes, that's yes, we could just take a piece of information we know exists and hide it for 2 years, and nobody, especially the deep state, who apparently is a tendrilled octopus that is in everything, will ever get wind of it in 2 years and make that information disappear in the interim. Yeah, give them plenty of time. It's a great idea. Genius.
You're bringing
We
back
just
the
got
character
new
you thought was
information.
dead.
These are professional communicators. This is not a regular.
Yeah, we're talking about Caroline Levitt, people. What are you worried about? Cenk is agnostic? No, Cenk is an atheist.
These guys that do this job, you have to learn how to do this. The enemy's watching every single one of your moves. Remember, we have freedom of speech. China does not. Iran does not. Russia
Yeah, good. Bring it back to that, brother. Yeah. And only because Trump is here.
does not. We have freedom of speech. What is the benefit of not having freedom of speech? Your enemy is not able to see what you're doing. What is the benefit of having freedom of speech? You can't silence people that want to say stuff like we're saying right now. If we had no freedom of speech, we can't even say what we just said right now.
Yeah.
Because somebody, well, listen, these guys are Trumpsters. This is not a good look. We're not sitting here saying we agree.
Yeah.
So it's not, this is the part where the audience is kind of like, so what are you guys? Are you for it or are you not for it? No, look, we voted for certain things we want to know. But having said that, Vinny, I still understand the idea of knowing, keeping a card because you know they're going to try to destroy you.
I get that, but I'm not comfortable with.
Here it comes. Here comes the root logic that, you remember that thing I said he would never fucking lose? Watch this. And by the way, these guys are exemplary of the arguments that are happening at The Blaze and Daily Wire and all these other places. And I'm sure back, I don't know how much Crowder is sucking up this shit, but all the right-wing crowd are all having this. So we're kind of covering multiple bases, and I'll show you. But
Any leverage, any negotiations with kids being raped. Like, if the information is there, those kids deserve justice now. If it's a leverage tool with Trump and he's biding his time, I am 1,000% not comfortable with that. Biding and waiting and like saving it. I understand it's a tactic move and he's trying to save it for the end game. But we're talking about kids that are on camera getting raped and they have it. And it's I am 1,000% against that if that's the case.
There is a.
yes, your big dumb idea that you just had that you think is like 5D chess. Fuck that, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys are run aground in this. So that was his plan.